We know yesterday voters across the United States actually took to the polls, but those are the results, provisional results as is. We are looking at various media outlets, international media outlets, and I just read to you how it looks some few minutes ago. 99, 178 there, with Donald Trump leading with 178. Those are the equivalent of the electoral votes, you know, the electoral colleges and such. But then in as far as how many US eligible voters voted for Donald Trump, as per the numbers right now, we are looking at 31.5 million. How many voted for Kamala Harris? 28.3 million. She has 99 electoral votes. Each require 270 to bring it home. So who will it be? Who will it be? You can see even from the pictures on your screen, it is relatively calm. Yeah. We've not had cases of, you know, insecurity and such. And I think this is a beauty of, you know, a developed state, so to speak. You know,
actually, some of them, they do online voting.
Yes, online voting.
You wake up in the morning, log in,
do you think we'll ever get to this point, Victor?
Yeah.
Like we do online voting?
I think it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Probably we'll get to that point, but I don't think that will be soon. Yeah, but it's only a matter of time.
It could be. Soon is relative.
How soon? Definitely not 2027.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we can pick from developed jurisdictions. We have, you know, the big brother, how they conduct the elections, how they, you know, the citizens do take care of their votes. It's always kind of a carnival mood when it comes to election time in the US. It's a celebration, so it's always peaceful. I've not seen any tear gas anywhere.
Not at all.
Regina, have you seen any?
There's no tear gas.
I've not seen any tear gas anywhere.
There's no tear gas. And there are those who are also very keen. We've been seeing various celebrities here and there endorsing their favorite candidates. And one, Elon Musk, you know, has really been pushing for the return of Donald Trump to the White House. And, you know, several people have just come out to call him out on that, given, you know, the new age we're in, technology and such. But hey, freedom of speech is still accorded across the world. It's one of the tenets of democracy, that while the majority will have their way, the minority will also have their say. That is democratic. Well, we'll be keeping tabs on that. Keep checking various online platforms. Like this is 3 minutes ago. I just read what we had at around 6. So 3 minutes ago, according to the Associated Press, right? It now indicates that Trump is at 198, while Kamala is at 112. Yes, let's have a look at which areas and what this means. It means Trump is still leading at 52.4%, while we have Kamala there with 46.4%. We'll be keeping tabs on that. Remember, this is changing. It's trickling as, you know, as the results come in. It's a similar kind of system, so to speak. We keep on looking at what is happening. It will get to a point where it's going to plateau. You know, no need to panic. I'm sure that's what electorates in the United States are being told. Do not panic. You know, this is just a process. It shouldn't affect the way you do business or conduct business. Continue with your work. If you cast your vote, kindly go back home. You can imagine the conversations that are, you know, that are happening down in the US. You're going to be keeping tabs on that. But now let's bring it home. We have the KCSE examinations underway, but it is not marred by insecurity, which is a positive. Government has promised that particular process will be flawless. However, a KCSE candidate of St. Patrick's Ebubere Callistus, a boy Oteu school in Mumias, Kakamega County, died a few moments before sitting his Kenya certificate of secondary education examination that began Monday. Now his parents say they received the news of their son's death and informed that their son's body was lying at the St. Mary's mortuary in Mumias. Area Deputy County Commissioner Paul Lagat, however, denied the claims, saying that the candidate was ill and died at the hospital. Here's a look at stories around the KCSE roundup.
A day after Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education written exams kicked off, parents of a KCSE candidate, Callistus Oteu, of St. Patrick Ebubere School in Mumias, Kakamega County, are seeking answers over their son's death, who they were informed that his body was already at the mortuary.
Hata ule mwenzake ambaye wanasoma na yeye, brother ambaye anamfuata kwa mkongo, Rufus, alikuwa pia ameenda shule, alishituka. Ghafla nilikuwa na wasiwasi, nilikuwa na hofu, hata nguvu sikuwa nayo. Kati nilifika shuleni nikapata washapeleka Mumias St. Mary's mortuary.
Alikuwa anasema tu macho ndio inamsumbua, lakini hakuwa anasema ati mwili inauma. Sasa mimi nikajua tu atapona. Si kujua ati kumbe mtoto wangu atafarika waache kufanya mtihani.
However, the claims were refuted by Kakamega Deputy County Commissioner Paul Lagat, who insisted that the candidate was ill for a while and was not in school at the time of his death.
So what I got from my officers on the ground is that the boy has been ailing, he was not in school, and he died when he was outside the school. He was not even in the school. So we want to clarify the fact that the information that is in the media, that the boy actually died in school, is not true as far as we are concerned.
In Kiambu County, 3 adult candidates were in shock after realizing their names were missing at the exam center at Kiambu Primary School, where they had registered.
Nimejisacrifice. Nilikuwa kazi niko hapa, nimekuwa up and down, but nilikuwa najitahidi na kuja shule, ndio at least nikuwe na grade mzuri.
Nimeenda kukalia exam, nimesomea mwaka mzima ya chemistry, nikapata niko wrongly registered for physics, na imenirudisha nyuma sana because now I have kufanya kazi ya kutoka form 1 hadi form 4 ya physics in 2 weeks time.
Elsewhere in Homa Bay County, 8 exam officials, including teachers, were arrested while duplicating a chemistry paper with intent to aid in exam cheating.
They were found photocopying the papers, and exhibits have been taken. All the eight persons are in custody here at Homa Bay, and investigation is going on.
This as next CEO David Njagere asked invigilators, supervisors and center managers to follow laid down procedures and regulations and uphold the integrity of the national examinations.
Yesterday we had 2 cases of attempted impersonation, and thanks to the MAT agency team, the 2 culprits were apprehended, one in Nairobi and another one in Kilifi. So we are vigilant across the country.
Njagere spoke during the distribution of KCSE exam papers in Murang'a East, Murang'a County.
Now, just before we bring you up to speed with what is happening local, is that news coming in is that Iowa as well as Pennsylvania have declared red for Donald Trump. Is it the making of a return of Donald Trump? Remember, the U.S. elections are currently underway. Now, back home, at least 26 persons are still missing after they were allegedly abducted by security agents. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights told Parliament that all indicators show the abductions were done by some police officers who were operating outside the law. The state-funded commission now wants Parliament to sanction the Interior Cabinet Secretary and the Inspector General of Police for violation of human rights.
The National Assembly Administration and Security Committee invited the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights in regard to rampant kidnappings and abductions. The state-funded commission revealed at least 26 Kenyans are still missing after they were abducted by persons believed to be police officers. The 26 abductees include an elected member of County Assembly of Wajir.
We actually secured the release of at least 940 arrestees people who had been arrested arbitrarily.
And it's very sad to date that a democratically elected MCA is still missing under, the open glare of this country. It doesn't sound right.
According to the Commission on Human Rights, 3 of the abductees were picked hours after they spoke to the Commission. The Human Rights Agency accuses the police of violating the fundamental rights of Kenyans since the anti-government protests witnessed in June.
These are people who told us that they were held in a basement place where we had cells, and they were handcuffed throughout. So which is this gang or criminal group that has all these hallmarks, all these gadgets that are associated with the police officers?
Chair, we would get distress calls of persons who believed that they were under risk of being abducted, and we helped them with their evacuations.
Further, the National Police Service Commission is on the spot for hindering the Human Rights Commission from accessing police stations, hospitals and morgues to perform their mandate.
The Commission was at times hindered from accessing places of detention like police stations. We went to hospitals and morgues, and we had to struggle to get in there.
This committee must prevail upon the police to provide the information we have sought from them for us to make progress. We have post-mortem reports, we have the cause of death in our reports, as you will see.
And yet as Parliament we are so concerned about this matter that we really wanted to nail somebody. In the course of your investigations, could you help us just identify a few, even just one?
The Commission on Human Rights now wants Parliament to sanction the Interior Cabinet Secretary and the Inspector General of Police for violation of human rights. The MPs likewise want the Commission to furnish the House with personal details of some of the rogue police officers captured operating outside the law.
So the 26 continue missing. We hope that they are reunited with their loved ones safe and sound sooner or later than later. Now, the government has set up a multi-sectoral agency that will spearhead efforts aimed at bringing to an end gender-based violence and arresting the rising cases of femicide in the country. The multi-sectoral agency that will include state agencies, religious leaders and civil societies, among others, will come up with a holistic approach aimed at eliminating the alarming incidents of femicide. According to the National Police Service, at least 97 women so far have been killed over the past 3 months.
Recent cases of femicide in the country, compounded by incidences of gender-based violence, have awakened the government into action. Tuesday, State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action Principal Secretary Anne Wangombe led other stakeholders from state agencies, religious leaders and the civil society to formulate a proactive approach to curb the escalating incidences of femicide.
There is that need for collaboration among various sectors, which was underscored, ensuring a coordinated response to prevent and address femicide.
Stakeholders further calling for a comprehensive approach to address the cases once and for all.
We want to see perpetrators brought into books, and we want to see a whole approach to this thing.
This comes as security agencies called on members of the public to collaborate with the police to end the vice.
Most of these cases are in courts, and we might not be able to discuss it because it's already in court. But in partnership with the criminal justice system and all the stakeholders like today, we will see a positive engagement in this crime.
So what I'm asking from Kenyans is to be patient with us, to give us an opportunity to investigate, and take actions. Lakini also investigations bila ushahidi haisaidii. If you know in your community kuna jamaa anahusika ama anadaiwa kutekeleza mauaji ama dhulma za kijinsia, you should not keep quiet. Report those cases to us.
This problem is for everybody, and we have also agreed that will make this campaign sustainable.
Meanwhile, the Kenya police has been faulted for allegedly being the weakest link in the war against gender-based violence.
The Kenya police, that is where we have a big gap, because how do the Kenya police receive GBV cases? How do they process the cases? And how do we get these cases in court? So the courts also have a role to play.
They are our weak link. There's nothing we are doing if we don't take them on. In fact, we don't need them at the police stations. Take them to the hospitals. That's where we rush the girls and the women.
We must think, what should the character of security look like? And I think the proposal by Cholet, in terms of where do you station the protection officers for women?
According to the National Police Service, at least 97 women have been killed over the past 3 months.
The corridors of justice, the High Court has certified it as urgent, a case in which Omnicare Medical Clinic has sued the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council after the regulator closed down its Lavington premise last Thursday following the death of a client, Lucy Wamboi. The Ministry of Health last Saturday defended the closure of the facility, citing ongoing investigations of non-compliance needed by the regulatory body. The development comes as the family and friends gathered Tuesday to bid farewell to the late Lucy Wamboi in a somber ceremony at her matrimonial home in Red Hill area of Limuru constituency, Kiambu County.
Care Medical Facility, which runs body by design operating license, was cancelled on 31st October this year by the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. The management of the facility has moved to the court to lift the decision to close the facility. Through the advocates, the facility told the court that they are apprehensive they might be blamed for the botched surgery that led to the death of the late Lucy Wamboi without a complete probe, citing the deceased underwent another surgery at another hospital in the city where she succumbed. And on Tuesday, Justice John Chigiti certified the case as urgent and ordered the parties, which include KMPDC, the Nairobi County Director of Health, and Nairobi Hospital to file their responses within 7 days. The development from the court came as friends and family of Wamboi came together at her matrimonial home in Reddy area of Limuru constituency to lay her body to rest. Wamboi was a wife to a prominent businessman in Nairobi.
And when you market your establishments in a nice way, because they are very trusting, more often than not, they are likely to believe you. And then you end up in a facility that is not licensed, that is not professional, and then we end up in the situation we are in today. Again, let me call upon our people to always be careful.
She leaves behind 4 children. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accompanied by a host of politicians, including former Nairobi Governor Mike Mbovi Sonko, joined the family of the late businessman in calling for speedy investigations into the incident.
We expected people to go to the streets, lighting bonfires, destroying vehicles, shouting. No, that is not who we are. These people don't know us well. As when we feel offended, we feel bad, we keep quiet.
Wizara ya husika na wale walifika hospitali, na leo asubuhi tulitoka hapa, mahakama imekataa kuwapatia oda. Kwa hospitali itaendelea kufungwa.
The case will be heard on December 4th. Ruth Wamboi for Good Morning Kenya.
That effectively takes us to business, where microinsurance underwriters have been urged to leverage smartphone penetration and technology to drive uptake of microinsurance products. Speaking during the launch of Turaco Micro Insurance, Deputy Director, Universal Service Fund, Paul Kierge, said flexible payment options allowing customers to pay premiums in small, manageable amounts directly from their mobile wallets has lowered the point of entry for a majority of Kenyans who are likely not to be covered, like smallholder farmers. Kenya boasts 40 million mobile money subscribers and a penetration rate of 77.3%, according to the latest data from the Communication Authority of Kenya.
To successfully leverage mobile money for insurance, we must also focus on building trust and raising awareness. Many individuals are still unsure about insurance and may not fully understand its benefits.
Despite the flexible and versatile nature, microfinance penetration remains low in Kenya.
And basically why we wanted to get this microinsurance is that we wanted people who will increase availability of those services to as many people as possible, distribute it cheaply and with a quick turnaround.
Experts say adoption of mobile money services provide a unique platform to reach the marginalized and underserved segments of the population.
We are driven by the goal of creating an environment that nurtures entrepreneurial endeavors, propels economic growth, and empowers every level of Kenyan society.
Think about a border rider who can now conveniently secure a cover for their motorcycle, a reality that until recently was a mere pipe dream.
Fintech firm Turaco has launched a new product that focuses on, among others, health cover to farmers, including personal accident and last expense microinsurance products to drive growth for its new line of business.
Innovation, we're committed to doing things differently. We use technology in ways that no other insurance company in Kenya does today. We have everything from simple technology to advanced technologies, AI, distributed ledger tech to enable us to pay claims within minutes instead of weeks, months, or longer. That is often the norm for this industry that needs continued development and growth.
Kenya electricity generating company KenGen is pursuing various financing options to raise 554.7 billion shillings to fund 23 power projects. KenGen Managing Director Peter Njenga says the company is in talks with potential financiers and multilateral agencies to construct the power plants with the capacity to generate an additional 1,500 megawatts of power over the next decade.
KenGen, Kenya's largest geothermal producer, with a total installed capacity of 1,904 megawatts, generates over 90% of its electricity from renewable sources. The company plans to spend 554.7 billion shillings on 23 power plants, with a target of adding 1,500 megawatts of capacity over the next 10 years. Among these projects is the development of the Olkaria 7 geothermal power plant, expected to add 80.3 megawatts, and the upgrade of the Olkaria 1 power plant, increasing its output from the current 45 megawatts to 63 megawatts.
We are going to go through our own traditional ways of concessional loans, where we are going to work with the government for them to support us to get concessional loans going forward. We are also looking at the area of joining hands with other investors, the opportunity in joint ventures, the opportunities in special purpose vehicles. Yeah, we are also looking at the possibility of going direct to financiers.
Additionally, KenGen is diversifying its renewable portfolio with a 200 megawatts wind project planned for Marsabit and a potential solar energy venture.
We are also looking at new areas in the solar, where we already have funding for a solar power plant of 42.5 megawatts. We are already looking at wind. We have opportunities in Marsabit. The hydro is another area that we need also to go across the country. We have very many rivers.
The company is also advancing plans to revive the Muhoroni gas turbine power plant. to help alleviate power shortages in Western and Rift Valley regions.
We are looking at a period of maybe 6 to 1 year extension of that PPA.
On the revenue side, KenGen is exploring green hydrogen production, carbon credit trading, and enhancing regional power interconnectivity. The company is also looking to expand its geothermal exploration in Eswatini, Tanzania, and Zambia, further broadening its footprint in the region's energy landscape.
So the next stage will now be to see whether we can go into production. There are other countries in the region. Zambia has already come to us, and we are also in engagement.
Now we cross over to sports, where the national rugby women's team is scheduled to leave on Thursday for the Africa Women's Sevens scheduled to kick off Saturday in Accra, Ghana. The Lionesses, who have been training at the RFUA grounds along Ngong Road, will open their campaign against Mauritius in Pool B before they take on host Ghana and Madagascar at the University of Ghana Rugby Stadium. Defending champion South Africa, who beat Kenya in the finals last year, will be up against Burkina Faso, Zimbabwe and Tunisia in the opening round, while Uganda will face Zambia, Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal in Pool C. This is the first time that Ghana will be hosting the Rugby Africa Women's Sevens, which is a qualifier for the 2025 World Rugby Challengers Series.
High tackle there by the Kenya Lionesses. Referee playing an advantage. The mark is on the attack. Looking to do what they've just done a couple of minutes ago. Marquis 19. Marquis 19.
Good Godspeed for the Lionesses as they take on their opponents come Saturday in Accra, Ghana. That effectively puts a cap on matters in the headlines this morning.